my actual eyesight. Is there the high drive? Deep center! Go! 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 We're out of here! We're out of here! Say ya, playa!
Just like they drew it up in Hollywood, Caladros, the 3-2, swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons! And this is it for good! The Audubon Green Wave are back in the Final Four! A dog pile on their side!
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to DW Broadcasting's coverage of men's varsity.
From our entire crew, we'll see you tomorrow. Have a good one, folks.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, good morning and welcome to Woodbury High School. We are here for the second of 4 games in a partnership with Woodbury High this year, and it's going to be a fun one. It's a long-standing rivalry here between Salem and Woodbury, and even though the last couple of years haven't been all that kind to Salem in terms of this specific matchup, Salem did fall 49-12 last year against the Thundering Herd. There could be a chance for a change. You got to remember how many seniors Woodbury lost last year, and they're kind of starting out new, and they're kind of starting out with a different offense that's a lot more passing-oriented under the leadership of Ant Reagan Jr., the head coach. You also have to remember that Salem is dealing with a new coach as well, as Jason Mendoza left the position last year, or at the end of last year, after a 2-7 campaign. But Salem starting off the year 0-2 with losses to Ocean City and Cinnaminson. It hasn't been too kind to them so far, but they're going to look to right the ship here on week 3. You know, they've had back-to-back home games. Now they're getting on the road for the for the weeks 3 and 4 versus Woodbury and Glassboro with Kemp Carr at the helm. We'll see what they've got in store, but you got to remember, it wasn't too long ago that Salem dominated this matchup back in the days that Jonathan Taylor, now the running back for the Indianapolis Colts, he was at the helm of this team, and they were winning state championships and sectional championships left and right. But days are different and times are different. Obviously, with Salem, you know, kind of in a rebuilding program, both of these teams have a little bit to prove. Woodbury had a tough loss versus Haddonfield last week that we covered in a 21-20 loss, with a blocked extra point being the big difference in what gave the Bulldogs their second win of 2024. But it looks like Salem and Woodbury are both ready to take the field momentarily, as we have an excellent matchup here on a beautiful Saturday. Not a single cloud in sight here from Woodbury. Of course, last night we saw Clayton and Haddon Township under the lights in a game that Haddon Township took care of 29-7 for their first 2-0 start in 2 years. So we'll have everything, including our pregame ceremony, our national anthem, and of course both teams taking the field, our coin flip, and what everyone is waiting for, the opening kickoff, right here on DWB. We'll be right back.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
And at this point, we would ask everyone to please rise and remove your hats for the singing of our national anthem by Woodbury High School junior Alicia Kelly Balls.
What so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, o'er the ramparts we watched, were so gallantly streaming. In the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting air gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, a wonderful anthem performance there by Alicia Kelly Walls on the anthem performance, and that will kick us off for an excellent day of football here on DWB. I'm Dan Wilkins here with Vincent Folk up here in the booth at Woodbury High School. Our 8th football broadcast.
The BMW license plate U95SWK. It is requested that you come up to in front of the gymnasium and remove your car. The BMW, black BMW, license plate number U95SWK.
So if you didn't hear, Woodbury won the toss. They will second half. And Salem will get the party started on the defensive side. Woodbury will begin to kick this one away for 48 minutes of WJFL football. Here on a beautiful Saturday morning from Woodbury, 79 degrees. And the pom-poms are rolling away. That's a great start. And here comes the kickoff. It's up away. Goes back to the 20. Taken in by Salem. And he'll be taken down. Around 25 maybe. Terrence Smith Jr. on the return. Maybe actually got closer to 11 yards there. It'll be first and 10 from the 30-yard line.
First and 10 Salem from their own 30-yard line.
So Salem gets it started here. An 0-2 start for the Rams after losses to Cinnaminson and Cinnaminson and Willingboro. Willingboro was a 35-0 loss back on Saturday the 31st. And Cinnaminson on Saturday, September 7th. So they lost both of those games at home. And QB taking it out of the shotgun immediately. Flag and going to have a false start called by the white cap of tonight's festivities, Kyle Wagner. First and 15 as we got one snap off and already dirty laundry on the field. For Salem in the remainder of this campaign, they're on the road versus Glassboro on the 19th of September. Then they're at home once again for back-to-back weeks, Shalleck and Middle Township, the 28th and 5th of October. On the road at West Deptford, Woodstown, Innsbruck, and two Salem County foes close out
regular season for the Rams. That one's going to be a rush of about 7.
Tackle by number 9, Kadeem Wood. Second down, upcoming. Second and last 4.
Here comes the handoff.
The middle, nothing good.
Gets stopped. And a whole bunch of guys getting thrown down, and a late flag comes in from Wagner. It looks like this might be a personal foul for the late tackle because there were some late whistles. They're going to sort this all out. Yeah, it's going to be up like on Woodbury. Got there, it was an unfortunate because it was a really late flag, maybe about 5 seconds after the whistles had blown.
We've done a there after the good throw of first down. Across midfield, first and 10 Rams. From the center in her 40-yard line. Three up the middle.
Hand off of the middle.
Tackled by Woods. Cavion Jackson on the carry for the win.
Jackson on the carry for the Rams.
Moving down to number 3. Hit almost immediately.
Sorry about that, folks. We are having some audio difficulties.
On the tackle, going to bring up third down.
Bring him third down after the carry by the Rams. Davion Jackson, he won the honor of top individual performance for DWB football this past season. The 5'9" senior running back for Salem. This year, 116 yards in 28 rushing attempts across the first 2 games, 17 for 50 versus Billingborough on 11 for 66 with St. Vincent, but rushed for 1,200 yards in his junior year, 9 TDs, had 3 of them. That's going to be 4 of them. In a 38-14 win over West Deptford in mid-October last year. Official timeout.
We're going to bring out the change for measurement here.
We're going to have a measure. So it's going to be this call.
It is fourth down. Less than a foot.
I haven't seen one of those this season. I don't know. They're going to say fourth down. It'll be 4th and short for the Rams.
Out by the team, man. It's been Jennifer while they're working that far sideline, getting busy early.
So an early measurement brings up 4th and about as short as you can make it, 4th and inches. As Joe Rush in the middle should be enough. It will be enough for a first. Clock's going to stop here, and it will be a first down for the Rams. That's something that they needed early on in this drive. You know, they kind of already got a little bit of a lucky break from that unsportsmanlike call on Woodbury for that late tackle, which 100% deserved, but, especially with Salem being pretty much an underdog in this game, you've got to get momentum going early if you want to have a chance to succeed tonight, especially considering, you know what the final score was last year. You got to have short-term memory and make sure that doesn't get too far in your head. Handoff to Jackson. Like we said, Davion Jackson had 1,200 rushing yards last year for the Rams. And in his game versus West Deptford, I mean, he was just phenomenal. 25 rushes, 273 yards. That was his second game of the season of over 200 rushing yards. Also did that versus Cedar Creek. But kind of a new era for Salem. You know, they've gone through 3 head coaches in 3 years. They had Montre Wright in 2022, that came to an 8-5 record, and a loss in the Group 1 semis in a year that Woodbury won the first ever New Jersey State Championship. But last year they had Danny Mendoza, 2-8 record, started off the season 0-6, excuse me. And then won back-to-back games with Wellsboro and West Deptford, which having great season. Despite going 2-8, they made the playoffs, lost to South Hunterdon, 16-6. 3rd and short for the Rams. About 3 yards to the first down marker, handoff to Jackson again. Ball came out on the play. They're going to sort this all out.
Maintains possession, but if they do a group down.
They will say Salem hangs on to it. The 4th and 4. To the QB keeper. Looked like if he stopped short. On the rush by number 10 for the Ravens, Kamal Shada, the sophomore. There will be a turnover come downs, and Salem fails to score. So 6:27 left in the first. So 6:27 and counting now. Or actually, no. Up to 6:23. Woodbury does take over on their own 38. And hold on here. Whistles are going to stop the action. Maybe a uniform issue with... I can't say I've seen that one before from anybody. But Tim Holmes back in the shotgun takes this one for a handoff. Makes his way for about 4 yards. On the rush by number 9, Kassir Naismith. Or excuse me, that is Dean Woods. Roster isn't completely accurate on NJ.com, so I've got to go back to my paper copy. Past the halfway point of the first quarter, still no score. Moving pretty slowly here. Another handoff to Woods from Holmes. Will go for maybe a yard. Looks like it's going to be stopped there at the line of scrimmage. third and mid-range for the Thundering Herd. And as he gets the snap off, we've got... Oh, did Salem call it? Okay. So no flag, but Salem calls a timeout before they got the snap off. And some great seeing eyes there from the referees to make sure that that play did not have any impact. So Salem calls their first timeout of 3 and the first timeout in total. We'll be right back. No score here midway through the first. Third and 4. Thundering Herd dropping back to Tim Holmes. And that will be stopped short, maybe about 2 yards in the carry. Bring up 4th and short for the Herd. Looks like Tim Holmes is going to the sidelines. They might punt this one away. By the way, for just joining us, haven't missed too much so far. Salem's drive failed, and they turned it over on downs, and now Woodbury will punt this one away on 4th and 3, which feels like for South Jersey Group 1 standards, feels fairly doable. Up there, drops back to the 35, immediately almost got stripped away. And he got tripped up by a little bit of friendly fire from number 4, Terrence Smith Jr. So Salem will take over for the second drive of the morning. 14 left in the first quarter. They're all 34. Well, like I said, I think Salem needs to get the first blow dealt because, like we said, Woodbury took care of them easily last year, and I think Woodbury has made more improvements on their roster than Salem has, and that's not really Salem's fault, but you know, considering what we've seen this year so far from Woodbury, being able to keep up with guys like Haddonfield that, you know, I wouldn't call Haddonfield and Salem on the same tier, at least not at the moment. From what we've seen in the first 2 games, you know, maybe not. But, you know, and maybe we'll be able to look back after that Willingboro-Woodbury home game from later this year in October and make a more educated comparison. But, you know, the way Salem is right now, you have to just look at prior history. Salem has won 3 of those 5 matchups, but in the past 2, Woodbury won by 30-plus points in both of them, and last year was, you know, kind of a barn burner, 49-12, as the handoff. We've got a whole bunch of flags coming in from the backfield, and the rush gets it out to the 45, but this one might be coming back. Let's see what the White Cap has to say about it. Might be against the offense here. It's going to be an offensive ball. And it will be coming back. For every great rush, there's about 3 holding calls. That's what I like to say, at least. It feels like every time somebody gets away, 9 out of 10 times it ends up coming back because of a hold. This game's been moving pretty swiftly so far, even with the flags. Of course, wasn't really able to say that about last week's game versus Haddonfield, and of course some of the other Week 0 games, but now that everybody's settled into the season, really helps what we've got between these two teams. Being able to move the ball swiftly. Clock management is going to, make or break some of these games, and that's exactly what we saw a couple nights ago in Week 1's action. As here comes a pass to the right side. Turnaround tackle for the Herd, but on the reception is number 12. Don't have the number 5 on the roster.
9-8 looks like the
Well, looks like it'll be about at the... All right, so the first down mark will be at the 34. They're going to set up at 3rd and 7 from the 36. Trying to set the Rams up for success here. Lets this one fly. He's in coverage. It's broken up. No flags. That being Tom Lewis on the breakup, and that will bring up 4th and long. Well, 4th and 7. I mean, it's doable. But they will bring out the punt crew, it looks like, and it looks like Woodbury will be back to return with Marquise Taylor again. Salem back to punt. Marquise Taylor to return for the Herd. Punting is Andrew May, a multi-sport athlete also participating in Salem Rams baseball. As here comes a punt that's going to drop and will get out at the 46. So favorable Woodbury fielding position to start their second drive. Like we said, we see 4 punts and a turnover on downs. They hit 4 flags so far, and a couple of credit flags. Is it, a couple of holds he won, a couple of unfortunate contact calls. It's not even like people are getting into fights. It's just that it's late tackles that are hurting these guys. I would have thought that Salem would have scored on that first drive, being aided by that unsportsmanlike conduct call, but they failed before they got to the red zone. Either team has reached the red zone tonight so far, and that will be a huge... That'll be not a sack, but he gets about 2 yards as a Salem helmet came off from number 56, Deontay Thomas, the offensive lineman.
From the Rams' 46-yard line.
Holmes gets about 4 yards on the rush. And now 100 seconds left in the first quarter. High snap. Handoff to the right side. We've got a flag in the back. There we go. Oh. Whistles all over, and there are flags everywhere.
All sorts of flags down.
We got dirty laundry, folks. Going to have a hold on the offense.
Thomas on the carries in Woodbury.
And all of that gets negated after a huge hit by number 21, Raymere Jones, and a carry by number 12, Dale Thomas. And that would have been a huge break for Woodbury, but again, the hold ends up negating all of that. Ends up bringing up 2nd and about 16 from their own 44. I mean, neither has gotten inside the 30, the opposing 30. I mean, that's how much. This is basically deja vu of last night, Clayton Head Township. Neither team is getting any momentum right now. Just seems like whenever something starts to get the gears turning for either side, it just gets wiped away as Holmes passes A slew of Salem Rams in on that one, but no pick and no catch. It's incomplete. It'll bring up 3rd and 16 after the pass by Thomas. Coverage by number 5 and number 4. Like we said, we don't have a number 5 on our Salem roster, but obviously somebody important. He's taken a couple receptions tonight and a couple of pass deflections early. But if we do get information on that, we will let you know as soon as possible. Holmes drops back, gets tugged, and he gets sacked deep in his backfield at his own 30. I thought maybe there would have been a horse collar there. I guess not. And Woodbury's going to be backed up to their own 30. And it is going to be 4th and 30 for the Rams. And they will be very deep to punt. They're going to, 6 seconds left. Are they going to try to punt before the end of the quarter? They've got 2 seconds. Now they call for it as time expires. They got it off in time, and a bad punt brings it out to the 45. Wow. I think they should have just waited that one out and had the time to regroup. That was a rushed punt by Woodbury, and that's not the ideal situation you wanted there, because that gives Salem good field position. We're through one here at Woodbury, and it's no score here at this beautiful Saturday morning at the Bowl. We'll be right back.
Hey, this is a great time to announce the
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Start of second quarter, Salem and Woodbury tied at 0. This broadcast is brought to you by our good friends over at Harper Driving School. Over 95% of students pass their Harper driving test on the first attempt. And if you like those odds, you can book an appointment today. It's week 4 of the Total Turf Complex in Pittman, right off of Lambs Road. Salem and Woodbury deadlocked at 0. Neither team has reached the opposing 30. Handoff to the left side for Jackson. Gets hit at the line of scrimmage. Gets about a yard.
number 3 rising up.
Second and 8 now from the 45. No, actually, I'm sorry, 43. QB keeper there gets to about 4 or 5 yards.
Tackled by number 75 and stop immediately. And that's going to give up a 3rd down here.
Third and mid-range now is Salem. And like we said, going into this break, neither team has reached the other team's 30. Although that might change here with a line drive pass. And speaking of the devil, they get exactly to the 30. To number 5 for the Rams. Like we said, no word on what is that.
Caden Robinson on the reception.
Sounds like Caden Robinson on the reception. That sounds correct, although see if we get confirmation of that. Caden Robinson, number 5.
First and 10, Salem.
2 minutes elapsed here in the second quarter. QB keeper does not get too far, and he trips himself up at the 31.
Carry on the keeper. No game on the placement going 2nd and 10. But he's fighting very good one well.
Second and 10 from the 31. Dropping back. This one is a line drive. It's over. Looks like it got picked off. They're going to say no, it got trapped.
So it's almost picked off. So near headed with the near interception.
So that'll be an incompletion. Olkins taken in by number 6, on Wilson. But instead, ends up being an incomplete. It'll now be 3rd and 10. Third and 10, for a QB rush that didn't go anywhere, and completion that was close. He drops back again. Oh, he gets hit as he throws. It's deep and stepped away. I do not see any flags, but he's getting hit by Woodbury against the quarterback, number 10, Kamal Shado. And he is a little bit gingerly walking to the sideline. That one had to hurt. No matter who you are, I mean, you had somebody all up over you. And that was a strong play. They're going to keep their offense on the field here on 4th and 10. Salem broke from the huddle early. So 4th and 10, just kind of a convoluted drive here for the Rams. And now back-to-back incompletions and a huge QB hit by the Woodbury linebackers. Now rolling out to the left, throws it across his body, and it's complete. I don't know if I get the logic of throwing from the opposite side of your body. I mean, he wasn't really set and just throwing on the run. He tried to do a mobile QB pass, but I just don't know if that was the right move. It'll be a turnover on downs. And Woodbury takes over from their own 35. Actually, it'll be from their own 30, looks like. And 1st and 10 for the Thundering Herd. Caden Robinson, who was the intended receiver, two rushes, 19 yards, had 116 receiving yards last year in just 5 receptions. He's at 3 receptions and 26 yards, 3 receptions last season. Ended up having a good resume, as this one's going to get tackled deep in the backfield by number 3, Jackson. Caden Robinson had 62 receiving yards last year in their opening day 42-19 loss to Executive Education Charter of Pennsylvania.
Second and 8 years with a Thundering Herd. Bell on the run, 33-yard.
8:30 left in the half. Holmes dropping back.
Holmes looks to pass.
It is tipped up and incomplete, and Salem almost had a pick. I mean, they were tugging away at the jersey there with number 13, Noel Curtis, and almost picked off by number 56, that bringing up Willie Chatham. But just not a lot you can do there. I mean, Salem didn't really see where the ball was, obviously just trying to strip it away and provide that first line of coverage. But Salem has turned the ball over twice on offense so far tonight. Holmes in trouble. He's got a whole bunch of guys on his back, and he gets taken down behind the line of scrimmage. A big set. I think Salem trying to say the ball came out. If it did, that would be huge. It would set him up to 25. But it will be fourth down, and Holmes will not remain on the field. So Woodbury will punt for the third time in this half. The mistake you cannot make if you're Marquise Taylor, you have to take your time here. The whole reason why Salem got great field position on their last drive was because of a rushed punt. This time, no such rush gets it past the 45. It will drop dead at the 43. And Salem will take over with much more admirable field position this time for the Thundering Herd. But, you know, that was the one thing like that I didn't understand, is that they didn't have to get a punt off before the half. They had plenty of time, and they wouldn't have sacrificed a delay of game penalty. So, you know, there's part of me that says that, you know, the fact that you have to kind of go with a buzzer beater punt to end the quarter, that doesn't help your case at all. And these guys still fighting for the first score, 0-0 midway through this first half, with 6 minutes remaining. By the way, after one score at Gloucester Catholic, it is the Rams 7 and the Pittman Panthers 0. We were, if we didn't have this obligation with Woodbury, I think we would have gone up there for a game, but we're plenty fine with Salem Woodbury. Fun matchup so far. Jackson on the handoff. A bit of a slower start, but he does get past the line of scrimmage for about 6 or 7 yards. Very respectable game. You heard it here. They're going to play Seven Nation Army on the band. See, when I talk about an old soul, that's what I'm talking about, you know. Don't forget, next week on DWD, we've got 2 football games on the week 3 slate, one on a Thursday and one on a Friday. No Saturday game scheduled yet. 2nd and 3 for the Rams, as here comes a direct snap. This one's going to be enough. I thought it was enough at first, but no. A big stop by the Woodbury defensive line. Stops the QB short. Short for the Rams. Third and 3 here for Salem. Handoff to Jackson. We're going to see here they might get a first down, and they will move the chains for a first down. I mean, honestly, right now, just like I said, the momentum is not shifting anywhere. Woodbury gets a drive, they can't do anything with it. Salem has a drive, they can't do anything with it. And this is a stark difference from what last year's game was, with it being 49-12. That is not easy. So Salem picks up a first down on the short rush by Jackson, who, like we said, he had the best individual performance on DWB football last year. Handoff to Jackson, gets snuffed at the line of scrimmage, maybe a yard to the 45. It'll be second down. Some out-of-town scores from around South Jersey from last night. Riverside beat Maple Shade 22-0 to improve to 3-0 to start their season 3-0 for the first time since 2014. Manchester Township pulled off a crazy 21-point comeback versus Pinelands last night to win 30-26. Robbinsville beat West Windsor Plainsboro 32-20. Northern Burlington took care of Morristown 22-14. Ocean City beat Lenape by one score, 21-14, to send the Lenape Indians down to 0-3 on the young campaign. Allentown beat Nottingham 34-8 in more WJFL action. Kip Cooper beat Buna by a score of 26-12 for Kip Cooper's third franchise victory. Their second was this earlier this season versus Gateway. A couple of guys were calling for the ball. I don't think this is a turnover, though. I think Salem hung on to it. And will be third down. Cherry Hill East beat Triton 31-7 in Cherry Hill East's first ever night game. The lights were installed in the field this year. Cherry Hill East was off to a 3-0 start for the first time since 2011. We'll be seeing Cherry Hill East on Thursday, October 10th in the annual West-East rivalry. St. Augustine took care of Cherokee 21-7. Absegami took care of St. Joe's Hamilton 37-3. Eastern beat Vineland by a score of 20-3. Kingsway squeaked past Timber Creek by a 13-6 final score. Delran upset Cinnaminson 24-21 as a short pass is deflected, and it was caught, but by a Salem assistant coach and not by a player on either side. That'll bring up fourth down. We'll see if they keep the offense on the field. They did it last time, but this time they will send the QB to the sideline. So they are going to send Chatham back there. It looks like they will punt it away with Andrew May again. And again, some more out-of-town scores. Rancocas Valley blew out Camden East Side 43-6. Holy Cross Prep beat Palmyra 21-7. Oak Crest beat Cumberland 44-6. Atlantic City shut out Cedar Creek 42-0. Audubon squeaked by Bordentown by a score of 8-7. As here comes a high punt. Woodbury back, no fair catch call. Now he's got a little bit of room to run. They've got a whole bunch of guys scrambling together, including the punter. Marquise Taylor gets a nice return, but back to the 30 as we still have no score, and it's 3:29 to go in the half. This is Audubon Paulsboro all over again from last year. It's crazy. Barnegat took care of Jackson Liberty 42-12. Seneca beat Pleasantville 21-6. Woodstown shut out Shalleck in a surprise by a score of 26-0. Hull 6 shut out Gloucester in another surprise, 38-0. Gateway took care of Wildwood in a gauntlet 42-20. A game that Gateway led 28-0 at the half. Holy Spirit shut out Hamilton, 41-0. Here comes the line drive pass. It is caught. Barely keeps the ball in his possession. Way. Gains 27 yards back. They're going to get within the 30. And it gets taken for a huge gain about 50 by Elijah Young. First down and then some for the herd.
And that's one of the biggest plays of the first half here for either team.
And Woodbury with a big play there to gain 55 yards. And completely change the script here for the Thundering Herd as here comes a handoff. Dale Holmes breaks through a couple tacklers, gets hit hard behind the line of scrimmage.
It's nothing. Going to bring up 7 down. Trying to move the back.
Second and 15 after a loss by Dale Holmes. Willingboro beat Haddonfield by one score, 31-24. Bridgeton took care of Egg Harbor as they're off to a hot start, 32-29. Here comes the pass from Tim Holmes. Throughout the end zone after the and an amazing catch in the corner of the end zone. A great catch. As Marquise Taylor has done it again with an amazing catch, and it's 6-0 Herd. PAT will be taken by Fabian Gonzalez, the senior kicker, 5'8", 140, will be held by Holmes. This one is a line drive that will sail through the uprights. It is 7-0. So Woodbury converts, and how about that? An amazing catch by Marquise Taylor to bring us with 2:22 left in the first half. We finally have our first score, 7-0.
Last ball, are you ready for some more action?
The dangerous adrenaline wrestling gladiators will rock South Jersey on Saturday, September 28th in Riverton. Dog wrestling makes their debut at the Sacred Heart Church with a powerful lineup, including reigning champion Breaker Moran, former WWE Tag Team Superstar Tank Toland, and a special appearance by ECW original Jim Molyneux. Nearly 20 high-flying competitors are slated for this event, sure to be an all-time classic in South Jersey, with an amazing night of professional wrestling action planned for you. Dog wrestling at the Sacred Heart Church, 104 4th Street, Riverton, on Saturday, September 28th at 7:30. Tickets are only $20. For more information, visit dogprowrestling.com.
Woodbury scores on an incredible 22-yard passing TD to Marquise Taylor, catches it in the back of the end zone. PAT is good, and it's 7-0. This will be taken for a kickoff by Fabian Gonzalez as we finally get our first score of the night. But second game in a row that we've done where, oh, hold on. Are you allowed to call a false start on a kick? So a stutter start here for Woodbury as finally they set this one away. This is to their own 5, taken in by Robinson. He's got a Herd of the Herd on him to get snuffed. The 15, the 10-yard return does not bode too well. By the way, Pennsville leads Overbrook 20-6 in the second quarter. Just a hair over 2 minutes left in the half, and Salem getting ready to go here as they start this drive from their own 17-yard line. Woodbury trying to back them up further and advance this lead going into the half. Even if it's just one score, you want to stop Salem while you can. And we're going to have laundry on the field. Looks like a false start. That's exactly what it'll be. So false start on the offense. That knocks him back 5 yards, and that'll get him to the 12-yard line. And from earlier this weekend, some final scores from our full slate of Thursday games on September the 12th. In the Battle of Cape May County, Middle Township shut out Lower Cape May 14-0. Bishop Eustis took care of Lindenwold by an unusual score of 36-2. And Pemberton beat Burlington City 14-8. And in Central Jersey play, Montclair beat Bloomfield 48-14. After the false start penalty, handoff to Jackson. He gets taken, and they'll be about 10 yards from the first down marker again, as we are now reaching the 2-minute mark of the half. Don't forget, stay tuned for the DWB halftime show presented by Harper Driving School, and we talk about Salem's weaknesses so far, along with how Woodbury didn't get into the end zone until the tail end of the first half. I'm Dan Wilkins here with Vincent Vogt in the booth tonight. Like we said, on Thursday, September 16th, we travel over to Runnymede for a Thursday night matchup between the ACIT Redhawks and the Triton Mustangs. It is Atlantic Tech's first year in the WJFL, and it'll be just their third football game in program history. Handoff over to the middle, not going to get too far. It'll be third down. Got to be careful of those turnovers. Timeout is going to be called, I think. Saw something there. Yes, Woodbury does call a timeout, their first of the half. We'll take a quick break here with 1:20 left in the first half. 7-0, Thundering Herd. Just over a minute left in the first half. Salem backed up to 3rd and 9. And now we've got more dirty laundry. It's going to be another false start penalty. Their second false start of the drive. But a good game so far, just not a lot of momentum on either side, and certainly considering that last year's matchup between these two teams was 49-12. I didn't have too high of expectations for Salem, but you also have to remember that Woodbury's roster is more balanced with Salem now. Salem had a very young team last year, and they struggled in their division, and right now they're struggling in their current division after the realignment. So, you know, things are changing a little bit, and the way that these guys are going to handle it, you know, we don't know exactly what we're going to see, and we don't know what's going to happen in this second half. Maybe Salem just runs out of gas and Woodbury puts up a whole bunch of scores, and maybe the opposite happens. Or maybe it just stays the same, and we've kind of got to, you know, you have to push the needle ever so slightly on every play. He is backed up deep. Shadam is back. It is tipped away. Some heavy coverage in the secondary. Broken up by Woodbury's number 5, that being Samir Pettit, the junior. And these guys are going to be deep in their own end zone if they choose to punt, but it looks like May is back out there to send this one away for the Rams.
Made back the point to Salem that keeps the Woodbury watching Salem.
Salem's going to call a timeout. So Rams call a timeout, their second of the half. As we said on Thursday, September 19th, we've got the ACIT Redhawks and Triton Mustangs on a DWB Thursday night feature including the Jim Daly Concourse Memorial night. And on Friday, September 20th, it's a matchup between Camden County and Salem County. Again, it's the Audubon Green Wave and the Pennsville Eagles, squaring off at 7 o'clock from Pennsville Memorial High School. By the way, Pittman has tied Gloucester Catholic late in the second quarter, 7-7. Dane Collum with a pass to Hudson Rue for a 9-yard touchdown. Hudson Rue, of course, made a cameo in our DWB commercial for Harper Driving School, so you can make that connection there. Minute 14 left in the half. Andrew May with a very slow punt. Going back, lands at the 35, and it will roll out at the 41. Taylor was going to be on the return there. I mean, he's done everything tonight. He's rushed the ball, he's returned the ball, he's punted the ball, and he's kicked the ball. And he's received the punts, and he's received the kicks. He is their all-around soldier. And see what Woodbury can do here. If they can salvage another score before the end of the half. So we'll see what they've got in store. Holmes dropping back. He's going to find room in the defensive line. Taylor catches it again, gets tackled at the 26. And he's going to stay inbounds. That will keep the clock running now. 50 seconds left, but now they're at the 26 on the doorstep of the red zone. Chance to make some magic. Holmes drops back. He is swallowed up, but now survives, now gets wrestled to the ground. And that was a slow-moving accident right there. Just, he stayed on his feet for as long as he could, but could not hold on to it. The sack by Salem brings up 2nd and long. As Salem picks up the sack by number 50, Abdullah Jenkins. And a timeout called. I'm not sure who called the timeout there. Woodbury called timeout, so each team has one remaining. This broadcast is brought to you by Dog Wrestling. Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators will rock South Jersey on Saturday, September 28th at the Sacred Heart Church in Riverton, 103 4th Street in Riverton. Over 20 wrestlers are set to rock with that incredible lineup at 7:30 with admissions of $20, including reigning champion Breaker Morant and former WWE Tag Team Specialist Tank Toland. It's going to be a fun night of professional wrestling in South Jersey. You won't want to miss it. Holmes dropping back. Hit as he throws deep in the back of the end zone. It's tipped up and tipped away. Robinson in on that one. And a whole bunch of coverage out there and a bit of a contentious call, but I mean, it was all over the place. I mean, Holmes was hit as he threw, was lucky to get the ball as accurate as he did to the back of the end zone. I mean, if Taylor's there, maybe he makes the catch, but I'm not sure. It's going to bring up 3rd and 14 now. Holmes back in it for another shot, I think with 13 seconds. You don't really need to bring out the field goal unit. Oh, Holmes almost got ripped to the ground. Now he's all the way backed up to the 45, and it looks like they're going to let this run out as Salem, happy as can be, they end the half with a sack, and Kemp Carr's got to be excited about that one. Hold on. Whistles. They're calling everybody back. They have time on the clock. I think Woodbury called a timeout when that sack was registered. And now, I mean, Salem was so excited. Now they've got to go all the way back and rush the sideline for another play. We'll see how much time they're putting back on the clock.
The clock on the field. I'm not setting the clock. My walkie-talkie just went out.
Oh boy. So more tech issues, but so Woodbury is the one that called the timeout.
Right here the whole time, waiting for Woodbury to call power. Hey.
Yeah. So they waited until the last possible moment to call timeout. I knew they would have done it, but I mean, you saw Salem; they were basically already booking it for the locker room, and they ended up having to call everybody back. So they're gonna keep the clock on the field for this one play, which will be fourth and very long for the Thundering Herd. So they want to get one more play off before the half. And they are keeping Holmes at the wide receiver slot, keeping Holmes on the field in the shotgun. This is going to be a Hail Mary of sorts, or at least an attempt. It's going to be fourth and about 20. And now Salem burns their final timeout. Oh, boy. Remember how we were talking about how this half was moving very quickly? Well, I mean, it's still 58 minutes in the first half. Very respectable for what has been a low-scoring game between these two clubs. But we've seen some low-scoring games this year. Paulsboro beat Pennsgrove 12-7 early on in the season. Even Kip and Gateway was 16-0, which relatively low scoring for South Jersey Group 1 standards. All right. So they'll have one more play with basically no time, but Woodbury called the timeout in the nick of time, and they're going to set this one up at fourth and about 20 plus from their 45 as here comes a pass, but they're not going to have enough time. It gets knocked at the 10, and it was complete, it looks like, to number 3. That being Elijah Young. But now we get to take off the headsets and go to the end of the half with a 7-0 Thundering Herd lead. A contentious end of the half and a confusing end. But Salem will go back to the locker room, and Woodbury will regroup and look to advance their lead in the third quarter. We've got a 15-minute break ahead of us. We'll be right back after this.
Westboro, are you ready for some more action?
The dangerous adrenaline wrestling gladiators will rock South Jersey on Saturday, September 28th in Riverton. Dog wrestling makes their debut at the Sacred Heart Church with a powerful lineup, including reigning champion Breaker Moran, former WWE Tag Team Superstar Tank Toland, and a special appearance by ECW original Jim Molyneux. Nearly 20 high-flying competitors are slated for this event, sure to be an all-time classic in South Jersey, with an amazing night of professional wrestling action planned for you. Dog wrestling at the Sacred Heart Church, 104 4th Street, Riverton, on Saturday, September 28th at 7:30. Tickets are only $20. For more information, visit dogprowrestling.com.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Garden State Pet Center is an independently owned full-service pet store. Our specialty is promoting companionship between people and animals by providing the healthiest product choices available, including all-natural foods, supplements that support and relieve health issues, and innovative products for pet parents. Our goal is to provide our customers with a relaxing environment, and while we're not striving to be the biggest store on the East Coast, we're striving to be the best. No other pet store will make you feel at home like we do. At Garden State Pet Center, we view pets as members of the family. We don't believe in fast, high-pressure sales, but instead matching up the right pet with the right owners, as you are making a lifelong commitment. Together with our team members, we would like your visit to our store to be both enjoyable and educational. Simply drop in and take a look around. View the birds, reptiles, small animals, toys, food, cages, and miscellaneous items. Learn of the services we have to offer and decide for yourself if this is the store you'd like to call your home away from home.
Victor Santucci, owner of Garden State Pet Center. Visit us today at 226 South Whitehorse Pike in Audubon, New Jersey. We're open 7 days a week for all of your pets' needs.
BB and Copsetta trading a couple looks. They know what's going on. Full count. Bases loaded. 2 outs. Just like they drew it up in Hollywood. Caladros, the 3-2. Swing and a miss! And the Audubon Green Wave have upset the Kingsway Dragons in the Ralph Shaw Classic 26th annual. They are back on top for the
Late switch for the visitors. Again inside their 5. Oh, they're going to pitch this one back for the flea flicker. Touchdown, West! Oh my goodness! Taking inspiration from Nick Foles and Trey Burton. I think they just pulled off the Philly special. That is the greatest touchdown I have ever seen. Well, maybe not the greatest touchdown I've ever seen. Maybe that's stretching a little bit, but one of the greatest touchdowns we've seen in a long time. And it's a tie game.
It should. Right, exactly.
All right, start of the second half here from Woodbury, and a very slowly moving game, and only one score, 7-0 Woodbury after 2 quarters. And there's a lot to be said about a ball game where there's no score until 2 minutes left in the first half, especially considering what last year's game was, a 49-12 blowout by Woodbury to Salem. The game is certainly different this year. This yearly matchup is certainly a lot more different than what it was in prior years, but neither team really had the momentum except for Woodbury in that one drive. They had a 55-yard completion, and then they were able on the next play to get it into the end zone. But other than that, they just haven't been able to build much, and that's one thing that you need to get scores. You can't rely on getting those breakaway plays every drive. Sometimes you need to inch the ball a little closer to the end zone and do exactly what you need to do, and that's just something that both teams haven't been too great at tonight.
Yeah. I mean, there's been 2 key points really 2 key points to talk about in this halftime show. One is the huge amount of flags that we have gotten in this game, and the second one is the punt after punt after punt. Every time it looks like a team has, looks like they're getting something going. The drive just stops. There's been a lot of sacks that have been happening. The defensive line on both sides have been really standing up. The offensive line in general. So right now, I mean, these are 2 teams that are looking to get their first win. Salem coming off of a game last week where they lost 14-7 by 1 touchdown. So these are 2 teams, like I said, looking to get their first win. Of course, Woodbury last week with that 21-20 loss against Haddonfield came right down.
Loss.
Right down to the end. So I mean, this is going to be, I'm not surprised that the game is, going the way that it is going. I mean, right now, will that same feeling of the first half continue into the second half? We're not quite sure. Like you were saying at the end of the first half, is Woodbury may just come out and, wear Salem down, or it could be the opposite, or it may just continue like it did in the
It might just keep trudging on, yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little surprised by how this first half has gone, but mostly because I think I just set the bar too low on Salem, honestly. Look, they're on their 3rd head coach in 3 years with Wright and then Mendoza and now Carr. Not easy for these guys to keep a consistent roster, not easy for these guys to keep a consistent offense when you're changing head coaches every year. And especially for guys like Davion Jackson that are now seniors on this program, he's had to deal with all 3 head coaches. And you have to adapt to what each coach wants out of their offense. You have to adapt to what each coach wants to run. And it's not easy for the players to have to, fit that mold when it's basically the same roster year over year, but the coaches are changing almost every cycle. And, I thought Mendoza was going to stay for a couple of years, but obviously things didn't work out in Salem. But the thing is, look, Woodbury Woodbury lost last week because of a blocked PAT by Haddonfield, and even that was somewhat of a contentious call. And then for Salem, they lost 35-0 to a very respectable Willingboro team that we will see later in October versus Woodbury. So it'll kind of go head-to-head, and we'll see if Salem and Willingboro, maybe if that score was justified or not. But Salem played week 0 and they got shut out at home. They played week 1, got lost by 1 score at home to Cinnaminson, a very respectable team who also suffered a big upset last night versus Delran. So, South Jersey football right now is just kind of a giant question mark for teams like these. We don't know what teams are. We know what teams are, surefire contenders. But once you go one tier below that, it just becomes a whole alphabet soup, and it it becomes really unpredictable. So we'll have to see. Salem will get Woodbury will get the ball to start the second half, so maybe their momentum can shift a little bit, but we will have to see. All right, so 24 minutes of South Jersey football here on this beautiful Saturday morning. A nice breeze blowing straight into the press box here at Woodbury High School. Like we said, next week, ACIT and Triton on Thursday, and Friday is Pennsville and Audubon. We'll be right back after this break. Both teams are looking to get ready to take the field and change the momentum here in Woodbury. We'll be right back. Start of the third quarter here from Woodbury High School. Drew May is going to get this one for the Rams. They trail 7-zip. Kickoff goes back to the play. He gets a block. The corner gets missed. And it's a touchdown. No, hold on. There's a flag in the backfield. There was a flag. It's going to be a hold first stop. There was a hold at the 35 on the rush by Noel Hortus. So Hortus went the distance, but a flag is going to bring this one back. Had to spoil the party. So this will bring them back after the holding call.
Sorry about that.
So after what would have been a 75-yard kick return TD, and Woodbury on the whole will get knocked back to the 25, which is basically where they picked up the kick return after all that. Holmes back in the shotgun here. Fires pass to the right side. He cuts towards the middle. Man, that is about a gain of a couple of yards. And again, Marquise Taylor on the reception. And off. Team Woods, again, not getting too far.
By number 14. Jamal Cannon. That's going to bring up third down. Third down, that's 6.
By the way, at the half, Haddon Heights trails Burlington Township 14-0 versus the Falcons. Holmes in trouble, lets it fly. That's going to be complete for a first down. Complete to number 1. That being Jason Solomon, the senior. That'll be an easy first down for the herd. Camden Catholic leads Paulsboro 19-6 at the half.
There's the play look like on the 22-yard line. And then guys on that.
Dog gets a couple of yards again.
Started by number 50. Woods on the carry.
Dean Woods on the carry.
Definitely down to about 5. You take that every time you run the ball.
Another drop back by Holmes. He pump fakes, finds room. He's got a first down again across the 50. And he will get to the 42 for another easy first down.
But that's enough to move the 6 for him up. First and 10 from the Salem 42-yard line.
First and 10 from the 42 here on a beautiful Saturday afternoon here in Woodbury. 79 degrees. And it's not going to be a beautiful play for Woodbury. Finally gets tackled. That is going to be a loss of 10 on the rush. I don't think there's even going to be any forward progress there. That's just permanent blue and white all over him. And that's going to actually that is a favorable field position there and a favorable spot for 2nd and 14. Definitely thought they would have gone a little bit further back as Holmes with a line drive pass to the head of Solomon just aimed a little too high. We'll bring up 3rd down and about 13.
14 upcoming.
All right, so it'll be 3rd and long after the incompletion by Holmes. He drops back again, finding that hole in the defensive line. He's catch. There you go. Taken in by Elijah Young, and that will get them into the red zone. Thundering Herd pick up another 1st down, and this time they are going to get 1st and goal from the 9. Just 4 minutes into this half, and Woodbury driving hard. Holmes finds room, dives forward to the 5. That'll be a gain of about 4 yards. And the Herd are going to be on the doorstep of the end zone. They're going to go no huddle. Oh, Holmes fumbles the snap. Salem on it. I think Holmes recovered it, and he does. But a heavy rush there from Salem after he kind of just fumbled his own snap by number 58, Samuel Rowley, and number 60, Abdur Jenkins. Emmanuel McFarland on that play as well. And now it brings up 3rd and goal after the botched snap. He is Dale Holmes to his right. Or Dale Thomas, excuse me, to his right. Holmes drops back. He's got room at the pylon. I think it's going to be short on the reception by Young. Yeah, it's going to be out of bounds, but it's going to be at either the 2 or the 1. I'm not sure exactly.
Oh, it's a holding.
We're going to have an offensive hold. That does not help. Now you're going to have 3rd and a long goal, if that makes sense. That's the last thing that Woodbury needed there. They were like maybe 2 yards away from the touchdown. Now that being taken away, they'll have some extra work to do on this drive to make sure that there's no turnover. And even if you don't score, you can have the opportunity to trap Salem deep in their own territory on this drive if you don't convert, as it's 3rd and goal from the 16. Holmes drops back. Pass is caught. Got some room down the sideline, and he is wrestled to the ground at the 5. Another nice play by the Salem defense to prevent that from being any worse. From the 6, Holmes back. He's in trouble. McFarland is there. A clipboard goes flying, and he gets sacked. That will be a turnover on downs, as Woodbury is ticked off that they did not get that play done. And they were so close. Man, that is a tough break for the Thundering Herd. That is not what you needed there. But you do back Salem up to your own 5. So that helps a little bit.
5 yards to go for Salem here.
Definitely could be a lot worse for Salem, but they just need a couple of rushes to get out of the end zone. Put yourself in a fun position here. Well, we'll see what they've got in store. With Chatham in the shotgun, got Jackson to his right. QB keeper, he gets a little bit of room and will barely squeak past the line of scrimmage. Second down for the Rams.
The ball. Defense right out Solomon. But they were helping in the 17th how you telling me. Stepping down on the coming here for their wing. In their own 7-yard line.
Second and about 8 from the 7 after the short gain by the QB Chatham. Over to the left. Doesn't get too far on that one either. You know, we've only seen one of this year, a safety. Only have seen one. That was Camden Kingsway last week in a game that didn't really need the safety because it was 30-0 in favor of Camden.
And that's going to bring up the third down for Salem. The third down from their own 9-yard. The line between this could be the 15.
Yeah, the momentum's just stalling out on every drive. You know, Woodbury had it, then they lost it. Salem had a little bit of it. Now we're just kind of trudging along. I had a feeling that second quarter drive was just getting, I mean, these guys just don't seem to have a lot of firepower. Line drive, tipped. Keith Taylor, what can he not do?
Here's the twist.
I need one of those on my car.
Just a floater.
A floater went right into the hands of the Woodbury defense, and they score. Taylor on the pick 6. He's been responsible for every point tonight, and now Gonzalez will be back. Gonzalez on the PAT. He made his first one on a line drive. Oh, punt or PAT is botched. The holder ran over, and he gets taken care of all the way back at the 20. The PAT does not go. So 4:43 left in the third, and it is 13-0 in favor of Woodbury. We'll be right back. Marquise Taylor on the pick 6 for Woodbury. He has been responsible for all 2 touchdowns for the Herd, 22 yards on a passing TD with 2 minutes left in the first half, and now converts here midway through the third.
Gonzalez got the kickoff of Woodbury. That deep. Number 2 is Darren Smith, and number 12 is Caden Robinson.
This one is up the way. Look at this booming kick, goes back to the goal line. He should let that one run back for a touchback. Robinson will now get trapped at the 20. And a very respectable return for how good of a kick that was. By the way, Glassboro leads Pensgrove 12-0 with time still remaining in the first quarter. Pittman leads Gloucester Catholic midway through the third on a Trade Tinges 13-yard run, 14-7 in favor of the Panthers. Pennsville leads 27-14 over Overbrook midway through the third. And after one in more South Jersey Group 1 play, Neptune leads Keensburg 7-0 in some small school Shore Conference play. 4:37 left in the third. Salem sending a new guy out there to play right guard. Salem again in the shotgun with their QB and handoff to Jackson. Goes for about 2 yards. But Salem needs to get a little bit of momentum. They've been nice on screen passes tonight. You know, just sending the ball straight to the left, straight to the right. Not a whole lot of ifs, ands, or buts there, but they are, you know, they just have to move the ball. And that seems simpler than it is. But, you know, if you're an offense that has had a lot of turnovers this game, they've had 2 turnovers on downs. They had the pick 6 just a couple of minutes ago, which is very fresh in their minds. You know, you can rely on Jackson a little bit. You can rely on your QB keepers a little bit. But if it's not working, you kind of have to, you know, throw out the playbook a little bit and come up with something that, you know, is tried and true. Because right now for Salem, nothing is tried and true in tonight's game. Here comes a drop back to the left side for number 11, who throws it off, and it gets broken up by Young. I was going to say, there's a new quarterback under center. That is Quamir Bergen, the freshman. 6'1", 165 for the Rams. Quamir Bergen had 1 pass attempt in their loss at Cinnaminson last week, went for 3 yards. So maybe they are trying something different, as opposed to having Jamal Chatham out there. Salem trails 13-0. Woodbury scored 2 touchdowns, both from Marquise Taylor. The PAT 1 for 2. Second one did not go. Here comes pass again from Bergen. That is absolute trouble in the backfield. Another one for Woodbury, this time from their number 10, Nico Satarian. That will bring up 4th and very long. And that's the last thing that the Rams needed right now. They needed a stop. They needed to get themselves ahead. They needed to get ahead of the game. Right now they are acting pretty far behind the game here midway through this third quarter. May will be back to punt again. Yeah, May is about a yard into his own end zone. Punt almost got blocked. Trails to the left, and it goes out of bounds. And Woodbury will have elite field position in this drive here late in the third, with a chance to extend their lead.
I mean, hey, May got the punt off, and especially with heavy pressure, that is not easy. What did Pat McAfee say? Punters are people too.
Well, that's been what's happening all day. Is they've been able, no matter what happened, whether it was a turnover or whether it was from special teams, they were able to get backed up practically to their 1 yard line, which is putting them with their defensive line, putting the amount of pressure. You have the pressure of being backed up to your own 1 yard line, and then just the pressure in general from this great Woodbury defensive line.
That is not the first time they've had to punt from their own end zone. As a carry by Woodbury does not go too far. Perry Brown on the carry, number 17, and the tackle by number 56, Deontay Thomas.
Second and 14 for Woodbury on a showing 20-yard line.
Here we go. Holmes to the left, cuts through one, cuts through two, gets to the 30, and after a loss in the first play, they get within 10 of a first. Jackson is on the tackle there for the Rams.
From the range, 20 yards.
So from the 20 is where it'll be spotted here. Right at the corner of the red zone. Looking to break through for a first down and maybe extend their lead before the end of the quarter. Holmes dropping back to the right side. It is deflected and incomplete. Basically had that one right in his lap for Huertas, but it is incomplete. Bring a fourth down here for the Herd. And we'll see if they keep the offense on the field or not. I would imagine up by 13, it's a different situation than when the game is tied at 0-0. I mean, you're talking about, two very different situations. And it looks like Holmes will stay on the field for 4th and 5. Which is certainly, by all accounts, understandable.
No.
Holmes is in trouble. Jackson brings him to the ground. Salem's going to have the ball back. I mean, it didn't matter too much because it was going to be a turnover anyway, but Davion Jackson with a great tackle in the backfield. Yeah, he was trying to wrestle that ball away from him. First and 10 for the Rams, and you know what? They got better field position because of that sack. I mean, you're gaining about 10 yards just because you sacked the quarterback on 4th down. Woodbury could have punted it, and they would have gotten the ball back from the 20, but because they kept the offense on the field and tried to, work a little magic here late in the third, ends up turning against them. And now Salem sets up not in the best field position, but in decent field position at their own 38. Certainly doable field position here for the Rams. Hand off to Jackson. Barely gets past the line of scrimmage. Get about 2 yards. Now a minute and counting left in the third. Woodbury's only score of the quarter and the only score of the quarter was on a 22-yard pick six by Marquise Taylor, who waltzed into the end zone. Jackson again doesn't get too much on that one, and it'll be 3rd and short. Don't think they're going to get any plays off before the end of the quarter, and they're going to let this one roll. So at the end of the third quarter, Woodbury holding steady. They add on to their lead with a pick six by Marquise Taylor. And at the end of the third, we've got one more quarter to play for Woodbury holding their own. They lead 13-0 over Salem. We'll be right back here on DWB.
All right, so Salem will now switch sides here at the start of the fourth quarter. Third and short for the Rams as they're looking to get across the 50. Handoff over the middle looks close. And they will move to chains for a first down for the Rams.
The actual goal is very tall, not enough for it. First down.
The Rams get the ball across, not at their 50 yet. 48. Setting up shop here. Looking to break the stalemate and get on the board for the first time tonight. Hand off to Jackson up the middle. No, did not get there.
Woodbury down.
We do have a Woodbury player down, so they'll stop the clock at 11:24. That is, it's like number 7, Nico Sectarian. No, that is, I'm sorry, number 75, Mustafa Moody. And they will have an injury timeout. Woodbury with their athletic trainers out there, along with Salem's athletic trainer as well, head coach Anthony Reagan, attending to Moody. We will take a quick break for this injury timeout, and Woodbury leads 13-0. Salem driving across the 50. Mustafa Moody being helped off the field, limping on that right leg. He is not bearing weight on the left leg. You see, I mean, after he went down, he was crawling. And you're just hoping that this is nothing too bad. But obviously, it seems like he's in some serious pain. So hopefully Moody is okay, but Woodbury without a key offensive lineman and defensive lineman in this group. Handoff to Jackson on second and mid-range. Gets through for about a yard. Actually, a little bit more. He broke through a couple of walls of defense there. And you'll see where they put it. They will move it for a first down for the Rams. So slowly but surely, they're getting the ball across here back to the 41. Jensen, how about that again? He's just doing everything there to get this ball across in back-to-back plays with a first down for the Rams. Another handoff to Jackson. Trust the process. They'll get about 3 yards on that one. Second and 8. QB keeper, he's going to get dropped behind the line of scrimmage, and that'll be 3rd and 10. A couple of players scrambling around there.
Talk about the foul. Probably. That's going to bring up 3rd down here.
So they'll try this again. It'll be 3rd and 10 from the 30.
Over 10 for Salem from the Thundering Herd 30-yard line.
By the way, still 12-0 Glassboro over Pennsgrove, and still 19-6 Camden Catholic over Hallsboro. Dropping back. Chase them in trouble, and it's incomplete. Really close call there for Salem. They could have had a chance to break away on the completion to Jelani Beverly.
Well, this one's what we're supposed to go. Have a great game.
Was competing in his first game, at least according to NJ.com. Fourth and 9-ish, maybe 9.5. Salem back again with Kamel Chatham. He's got plenty of trouble. He's going towards the end of the end zone, and that will be incomplete. And that'll be a turnover on downs, a huge sigh of relief for Woodbury, and they will take over on downs with 9 minutes left. And Woodbury can ice the game just on this drive, even if they don't score. You know, do what Collingswood did in week 0. Get 30 yards for 5 minutes, and then just force them to go hog wild on their next drive in something that, you know, Salem has kept a very low-tempo offense. You know, they have kept things smooth. They have kept things low-key. And now Woodbury is back in the driver's seat, as they really have been all night, especially after that first score at the end of the first half. It's helped them tremendously. Handoff to the right side for Solomon. Gets a couple of blocks, and he will get knocked out. 45-ish. There is a Salem player down on the Woodbury sideline. And Robinson down. Now Salem's guys having to go across the aisle, basically. You can't see it too well, but there's a Salem player down at around the 50, directly at Woodbury's sideline. Like we said, that's Caden Robinson, the junior. Looks like he's going to get up and now has to walk all the way across the field. So he will walk off under his own power with no assistance.
Someone good enough for a Woodbury first down. It'll be 1st and 10 the Herd from their 38-yard line.
The Herd did get the first down from Solomon. Under 9 minutes left in regulation, Salem trails 13-0 to the Thundering Herd. And Holmes with a slow carry out of that play. Thomas leading hard. Hold on here. Salem's got to be careful. There we go. Making sure nobody gets in trouble. Salem did not need an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty there, and luckily they avoided one.
Jeremiah Watt.
Had to have some things settled up there after the whistle.
Yeah, we called maybe on that. We put it.
Holmes lets this one fly. Taylor intended there. Both players taking huge hits. And a big break up there by Terrence Smith Jr., and that'll bring up third down.
That's going to bring third down.
So a close call, I think. Man, that was tough for Woodbury. Third and 9. Gets a spin move. He puts Salem in a spin cycle. He carries 2 members on his back. And there's a Salem player who is down well behind the line of scrimmage. A couple of hard injuries here for Salem. Oh, no, that's not good. That is number 79, Kayon Johnson. And Woodbury, after getting an incredible first down from a great run by Tim Holmes, excuse me. And he seemed to be writhing in pain. This might be a minute. I mean, he's down there. Yeah, they're gonna try to help him get up. And we'll be okay. So he will walk off under his own power, luckily. And he just, I don't know if something snapped or if he just had I don't know what it was, but he seemed to be writhing in pain down there on the Rams. Under 8 minutes now, here comes a handoff to Jason Solomon, who gets tripped up. That'll be well behind the line of scrimmage. Second down for the Herd.
Clearly on the spot. North and 5 minutes away.
Second and 14 from the 42. After that poor play by Salmon. It just ended up being an unfortunate circumstance. Holmes lets it fly. It's incomplete. He got a flag as he threw the ball. Offensive hold. It'll be second down. So there will be an offensive hold. So Woodbury gets hit with the hold, and that'll knock him back another couple of yards. Third and long after the hold. It gets caught by Young. How about this? Maybe it was a mistake. Young finds zone midway through the fourth. It's the third TD of the night for Tim Holmes, and he gets it for 42 yards. Like I said, Vince, I need that on my car. I was just telling him I need that on my car. I need that for $2.95 on a Friday night. Oh man, Fabian Gonzalez will be on to kick this one away. He's 1 for 2 on PATs.
That seals the deal.
Oh, that one gets muffed again. Now he's going to let it pass, and it's incomplete. They just try to make something out of a bad situation. It fails. So Woodbury leads 19-0. 6:55 left in the fourth. We're going to take a quick break as Salem gets ready to receive possession again and get on the board. Well, a lot of people are rocking with the blue and gold tonight as Woodbury leads 19-0 here midway through the fourth quarter. As the Herd tack on another touchdown, this time from none other than Elijah Young from 42 yards, a passing TD from Holmes. A booming kick by Taylor. Oh, it drops. Nobody's got it. Backed up against the end zone, and he picked it up. Oh, no. Now Salem is going to come. They've got a flag, and he's got room. He's going to get a couple blocks. He swipes at the defender. He swipes at a Woodbury guy. He tried to stiff arm, and he ended up slapping him across the face. Nico Jimenez. We're going to sort this out as there's a flag on the 35. Made it back to the floor. Like maybe block in the back. Block in the back against Salem, and man, I mean, imagine if there were no flags on that play, going back from your own end zone all the way back across the 50. I think Victor Cruz did that for the Giants maybe like 10, 15 years ago. It's what they're doing. Here on a beautiful day, though, in Woodbury, it is a very scenic, I call it the bowl, just like they call it in Cherokee. It's like Salem will start their drive from the 40. And the only not so beautiful part of tonight's stream is that little thing up there. Take a look at that. That is some sort of hive. And I know that those bees or wasps did not consent to being on DWB, but something new on DWB every single week. You never know. We bring this one back. Salem at the 31 is where they start their drive after the block in the back penalty. This one goes over. It is incomplete. Gets trapped by Jackson. Or, excuse me, intended for man, and it's incomplete. 2nd and 10 after the incompletion. Woodbury hangs on to this one. They would go to 1-1 on the season. Salem would fall to 0-3. With losses to Willingboro, Cinnaminson, and now Woodbury, if they can't pull this one out. Here comes a pass, line drive, and that's going to get to the 39. For a gain of about 8, so a very respectable addition there. Third and short, dropping way back, letting it fly, and it's detected 20. That's it. And we're gonna celebrate for days. And Marquise Taylor, what can he not do? That's incredible. Touchdowns, interceptions, that's at least his second interception of the night. So the pick will be spotted at the 26 after that return by Taylor.
First and 10 Woodbury from their own 26-yard line.
Woodbury takes over after the pick by Taylor from their own 26, 5:50 remaining in the fourth. And off. Actually, I'm sorry, QB keeper Holmes gets 11. A gain of about 3.
And number 3. Picked up a good football play with the second pick. The Woodbury from their own 30-yard.
Thank you all for joining us here tonight. It's been a good game so far. Woodbury blanking Salem 19-zip. It's been what has been a good game so far. I mean, there's so many incredible things that we could be doing on our Saturdays. We could be going for a walk in the park. Could be watching college football for big noon and everything, college game day. But y'all are choosing to watch high school football, and good high school football at that. Here comes a pass caught by Solomon. Gets a couple of blocks, but now gets pushed out at the 45. Will be plenty good for a Woodbury first down. This is the kind of thing where, yeah, you're up by 3 scores, but, you can ice the game here, just do a couple runs, get them down to 2 minutes, and, whatever happens, happens. I don't really think Woodbury needs to score much more to make a point. They've made the point. They can win ball games, especially in their own division, and maybe Salem is either overestimated, depending on, who they are, or underestimated, depending on what they have next in their schedule. I know Woodbury has Glassboro next week. That's not going to be easy. We've got a flag coming in from the sideline. It's going to be a false start. Side judge saw that right away. And a false start will be called on the herd. That'll knock them back 5 yards after the first down by Solomon. That'll bring up 1st and 15. By the way, 6:03 left in the Overbrook-Pennsville game. Pennsville leads 33-22. And down to the wire at Gloucester Catholic Pittman, it is 21-20 in favor of the Rams with 3:58 left in the fourth. Handoff gets a couple of yards past the line of scrimmage. It'll be 2nd down and about 11.
Second down and about 12
Here comes a rush. Home. How season? That's really all they need. Tim Holmes does it again. Staggers his way into a first down, and he staggers his way to the doorstep of the red zone.
First and 10 Woodbury. From the Salem 20-yard line.
Under 4 minutes now in the half. Holmes with the handoff. This time to Dale Thomas, who finds his way out. That will get them into the red zone.
Not rare.
We do have a Salem player down. Needs a second to get up, and he'll be okay, even if a little gingerly. Thomas is marked down. It's like around the 15, if I recall correctly. Yeah, it's going to be right at the 14 where they're going to put this ball. Second down and mid-range for the Herd, as they have a chance to get themselves again back in front. Hold on here. Now, oh, we've got a Salem player back down. He made it to the line of scrimmage. Is that the same player who was down at the end of the play? I don't. It's number 0.
Fell down.
He just fell down. Yeah. You know what? I think that's the same player who went down at the end of the play. A teammate helped him up, and then it's a cramp. Yeah, that's what it is. Got a bad cramp. But great crowd tonight here in Woodbury. Like we said, I've said it like a broken record. Beautiful day. Just a hair under 80 degrees. It is an amazing place for us to visit. This is a very unique stadium with the parking lot backing right up to the press box. You don't see a lot of places like that, maybe except for Cherokee. And, this is a very homely place here in Woodbury, very small town community. And always an amazing place to be. Pennsville tacks on another score. It's 39-22 with 3 minutes to go.
Couldn't see him out because it was a warm day. You've seen a lot of cramping today.
So that's number 0 getting taken out there. All right, so coming back to it here. Under 4 minutes left in the half. A couple huge rushes by Solomon and by Tim Holmes as well to now set them up in prime field position here. Holmes dropping back, lines a pass, but he'll be knocked out before the pylon. He'll get them inside the 10, sure. Might even get them closer to the 5. I'll let the clock run here.
Now, good enough for a first down, and so the first and goal for the Heritage. So it looks to be right up a 5-yard line.
Pitches it back to Dale Thomas. He's going to get to just shy of the goal line, maybe at the 2 or the 3.
Second and goal on it. That's where we're Jenkins on the stop.
Holmes again from the 3. Got a good handoff. Looks like this might have a chance. We've got whistles everywhere, though. Is there a fumble in the end zone? Woodbury wants a touchdown. A lot of confusion. There's arms up in the air everywhere on both sides. Officials are in the middle of this trying to sort this out. I'm not sure. I mean, Woodbury wants a touchdown, and they've got the touchdown. Went straight up the middle, and a goal line stand extends the lead for the Thundering Herd. It's going to be 25-0 now. So Woodbury extends their lead to 25.
The question was whether he was fumbled before he crossed the chain. The referee said no, and that touchdown is good.
So, yeah, I saw some action there on the goal line. They basically were asking whether he fumbled before the goal line. He said no. Gonzalez back out to kick this one again to make this 26-0. They have failed their last two PAT attempts. One had to turn into a rushed pass that was unsuccessful. He did make his first PAT, and hold on, this one is good, but we've got whistles here, and they are going to call a offsides on the Salem defense.
Now they have something to choose.
Yeah, they've got a choice to make. Yeah, I don't know.
You're already up 25-0.
Well, they will try it again.
Offside on the defense. Another try here.
2:32 left in the fourth. Gonzalez this time, he gets blocked. Whistle they're flying here. So Woodbury has failed their last three PAT attempts, but not that it has had much of a difference in the end of the day. It is 25-0 with 2.5 left to play in regulation. We'll be right back. Nearing the end of this one here in the twilight hours here at Woodbury. 2:32 left in the fourth. And Woodbury punches home another touchdown to basically put this game away. They lead 25-0 over the Salem Rams. A thrilling first game in this four-game set that we're covering with Woodbury. The first being versus Haddonfield, a game that they lost 21-20 as a booming kick back to the 5, picked up by Robinson. He's got a couple blockers, no flags yet, and he's down at the 38, which is where Salem will take over on what could be a penultimate drive, if you will. Let's see here. Timeout is going to be called by the official. Oh, there is a player down. I see. Did not see that at first. My apologies. Like we said, next week we've got two high school football matchups here in Jersey between the ACIT Redhawks and Triton on Thursday. That is a 6 o'clock start time in Runnymede. It is the first time we'll be covering ACIT for football. It is just their third game in program history, one of the three new teams in the WJFL, along with Kip Cooper and Mastery Camden, who we have already seen Kip Cooper earlier this year. But also, along with that, you've got on Friday night, 7 o'clock, Audubon and Pennsville from Pennsville Memorial High School, and some more Salem County action. It's a 7 o'clock kickoff. Should be a fun one from Pennsville. But this is Woodbury's last home game for about a month. We'll be seeing them again on October 12th versus Willingboro and October 19th versus the Penns Grove Red Devils, the team that we saw in week 0 of this season versus Paulsboro, a game that they lost 12-7. So a Salem player down. Seems like they're stretching the legs a little bit. Could be another cramp of sorts. That is again Caden Robinson limping off of the field. And that'll take him a little while. So 25-0 Woodbury. I feel like your player of the game has to be Marquise Taylor. I mean,
for sure.
I mean, he has done everything. He has been the X factor tonight through and through. 2 picks, that first touchdown. It has been a great night for him so far. And not to mention Tim Holmes, Dale Thomas, some other great pieces of this Woodbury team that should not go unnoticed as well here in what will end up being a Week 2 victory. First and 10 for Rams. They'll pick this one up from the 38 after a strong kickoff return to start this drive. Passes this one to the left, tripping and falling on that play. I think this is going to be a loss for number 25, Isaiah Santiago, the freshman.
Number 25.
So now under 2 minutes to play in regulation. For the remainder of Woodbury's schedule this season, like we said, they've got a tough matchup next week versus Glassboro, versus Woodstown. Then they have Glassboro, 3 straight road games. Woodstown, Glassboro, and Gateway going into October. Then back-to-back home games, Willingboro and Penns Grove. They close out the season at Shallock on October the 25th. Handoff at the middle does not get too far. For the rest of Salem's season, they've got a tough matchup with Glassboro next week at 6 o'clock. Back-to-back home games versus Shallock and Middle Township. And then West Deptford on the 11th, Woodstown on the 19th, and Penns Grove on the 26th. It'll be fun to see how Salem adapts in what is a very difficult strength of schedule. So Salem is letting this one run out. They've got a lot of younger players on the field here as this game will wind down and come to a close. Like we said, Woodbury will improve to 1-1 on the campaign after their Week 1 loss to Haddonfield. Now their Week 2 win over the Rams. A handoff will get wrapped up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 4th down. See if they end up gathering at the 50 or one more play. Basically, this is Woodbury's victory formation, if you will. Well, they've dominated all night, even after what was almost a scoreless first half. They turned up the Jets, and looks like they're going to ride this one out. The Woodbury Thundering Herd have won this game 25-0 with a great dominant week 2 win after a heartbreaking loss last week versus Haddonfield. They get back in it here with a shutout win over Salem. And Vince, that was a statement game for Woodbury. A lot of people doubted that they could contend after their loss to Haddonfield. They proved almost everyone wrong tonight. And, even though Salem now 0-3 on the campaign, Woodbury gets their first win, and they kind of get out of this jam that they've been having for the first couple of weeks in the season.
Yeah, I mean, right now looking at this game, two teams coming in here trying to get their first win of the season. Obviously, last week with that unfortunate loss for Woodbury by 1 point, block PAT. So this was definitely a statement game, especially here at home, to try to get a win before almost a month since you're back here in Woodbury to play another game on October 12th. So, right now, a statement game, just in general, it started off a little slow, right? Both sides didn't really have any type of momentum whatsoever. But then, finally, once they got something going with Holmes to Taylor with an incredible touchdown, incredible catch in the corner of the end zone, followed up by Marquise Taylor with a pick six. And again, he got another pick as well. So he was all over the place. The offense finally started to get their legs. And I tell you what, once they did that, the special teams as well did an incredible job, especially with the punts. Were able to, no matter what happened, either if it was a turnover or if it was a punt, they were able to get Salem backed up against their own end zone, putting more pressure on them, and they just completely wore them down to keep Salem scoreless and to keep Salem only having 7 points out of the 3 games that they played this year to only scoring 7 points this whole season. So there was positives for Salem, even though they didn't get any points. There were positives for them, but at the end of the day, Woodbury just completely ended up dominating this whole game, and therefore the 25-0 win.
I mean, hey, Salem didn't crack the red zone once tonight. They didn't really have much of a chance. And, it's hard to score when you don't get chances to score. And Woodbury just took every chance they had away from them, whether it was, some sort of penalty or whatever. It just didn't bode well in the end for the Rams, and they were able to get away with a great ending to this game here in Woodbury. That'll be all for us tonight. As we said, player of the game has to be Marquise Taylor. We will be back on Thursday in Runnymede for a 6 o'clock start between the ACIT or Atlantic Tech Redhawks and the Triton Mustangs. And then on Friday, September 20th, we are back in Salem County for a matchup between the Audubon Green Wave and the Pennsville Eagles in a matchup with my old alma mater. Of course, no game yet on Saturday, September 21st, but we'll be looking to add one to our schedule if possible. So, from everybody here at Dan Wilkins Broadcasting, our social media coordinator, Brandon Kegerland, and Killy Curran, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Nelson Reeves. My producer and color commentator tonight, Vincent Vogt. I'm Dan Wilkins. We will see you next Thursday in Runnymede. Have a good one, folks. Woodbury shuts this one down 25-0.